Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's, offers fully covered loading and unloading area with individual pin-coded gate and door access. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
Hafade Guam, and good morning. And as always, thank you for starting your day the KWM way. It is Hump Day Wednesday, which means it's crime time, where our friends in law enforcement join us to talk about what is happening on the island and how each and every one of us, as proper, responsible Guamanians, can make our island a safer place to be. You might notice the wonderful logos and insignias and signs behind us. We are at the home of the Geckos. We're in Mangilao this morning at GW High, and as our country's first president said, George Washington, I cannot tell a lie. And Paul, we can't tell a lie. GW actually had a rather disturbing incident this weekend. So can you break it down for us? There was a burglary, as I understand it.
Yes, you're absolutely correct. And, we want to feature this, and we want to thank, of course, the administrations from DOE and, of course, the administrators from here at George Washington High School to allow us to be here to feature this, because it's really important in what we're highlighting. Because, over the weekend we celebrated Veterans Day, and through that span of the 3-day weekend, we actually had a school break-in. And this is really something in which we need to highlight into the community, because the schools are part of the community. And I understand to the police report that 5 classrooms were broken into, and the reason why we're here at GW is because this is where we now want to provide an opportunity for the students and empower them in making a difference with their school.
5 classrooms were broken into.
5 classrooms, and
that's not just random anymore. I would assume
it's 5 classrooms that was really detrimental in the operations of in providing the education to the kids. But again, going back to empowering the students, a few years ago, George Washington was featured with a break-in that happened here within the office, and that was actually captured by CC footage, and we featured that. With the media, we featured that with the Guam Crime Stoppers, and we asked the community to provide information or to help us bring closure to this case. And believe it or not, it was really the students that provided the information that brought closure, because of the footage that was shown, and of course the students understanding who and the mannerism in which the suspects had portrayed in the video, and they were able to identify it, and we were able to bring closure to that. So with school break-ins, historically, and through records, it really shows that 99% of the time of the schools that were broken into are usually committed by students within the school or former students from the school. And you can look, and we can ask the administrator who's here today about some of the items that were taken and some of the the MO in which the crime was committed. And when you attribute it to that being students or young adults or kids, there's a lot of things that are being done that is done mischievously, because of the fact that they're not there for the high-end items. They're there pretty much just to cause nuisance and everything. And this is an opportunity where the kids can actually be the ones, own up to being really stewards of their school, and give us information as to who was responsible for the school break-in.
All right, well, Paul, you went here as a freshman. I've been here many, many, many times for athletic events, for community service events, but no one truly knows the school like the administrators and everything like that. So we thank you very much for your time, sir. Good morning.
Morning, Jason.
Hi.
Hi.
And for those people that may not know you and everything like that, say your name and how long you've been with the home of the Geckos here now.
Okay, my name is Chris Castro. I've been here for about 4 years now, after coming back on island.
Okay, that's a long time, and we thank you for your service to Guam for doing that.
Thank you.
But it's a horrifying thing when a school gets burglarized, because like the Sarge was saying, I mean, not just for the students, also the faculty and the administrators, your colleagues, even, the one-to-one school aides. This is their home away from home. And when you violate somebody's home, you take away peace of mind, and you take away something from that person, and that's a bad thing.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Sarge was saying there are 5 classrooms broken into, and we don't want to get into the mechanics of like the crime, because that's an active investigation right now. But can you tell us about the nature of the vandalism and everything like that, okay, as far as what was broken into, what was scattered around?
Sure. From the information that I received from my staff, we were very fortunate. Things could have been a lot worse. It seems like the people that broke in, they were basically just looking for stuff that they could put in their pockets, money to be exact. There were several file cabinets and cash boxes that were pried open. Fortunately for us, all the money was already deposited, so the kids didn't get away with anything. They did rummage through some snacks in one of the teachers' classrooms, and they ate the snacks and left the evidence. But other than that, just basically file cabinets, teachers' desks, cash boxes that were pried open and rummaged through. But the teachers did do an inventory of their classrooms, and I'm lucky to say that nothing was taken.
Chris,
Nothing-
that is
nothing of value.
unbelievable.
Very unbelievable.
Okay, so hope you got that, everybody. Make sure to add that in the comments. So 5 classrooms broken into at one of Guam's oldest and most prestigious, most traditional schools, loose change and snacks. Sarge, those are very petty things, and they're also going to carry with them a very serious crime when we catch these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the severity of the crime in itself. This is actually, you know, government property and everything. And you know, just to highlight what Mr. Casher was talking about, we see this, you know, these type of events mirroring in that of the elementary and the middle school break-ins, and it really attributes to that of the student body, the student population. And this is an opportunity where we, as the Guam Police Department and as the Guam Crime Stoppers Coordinator, when I come out to the schools, right, I tell this kid, the student population, that you guys are surrounded by a culture in which you guys are only privy to. We are not. You know, you guys have all the information that is circulating throughout your culture, but as administrators and as an adult, it's like, whoa, that's like off limits. This is an opportunity in which the student population from within this campus can actually help us put an end to this and help us bring closure to this case, because when you really look at it, these are you know, I don't want to say crimes of opportunity, but really it showcases the age level, because there were high-end, and I'm gonna highlight this, there were high-end items there that weren't taken that would have been really you know, something in which we looked at as grand theft and everything because of the amount. But the petty things that they were going through, they were eating snacks. It's an indicator that either they were hungry or they knew where the snacks were, you know, because some teachers provide rewards, you know. We did a case years ago when I was in patrol at a school in the northern side, and it was really kids who knew where the snacks were, and they took games that were confiscated by the student or by the teachers, and they ended up you know, bringing the games back to school, and they were like, hey, that's, you know, that was my game. And these were primary students within an elementary school that did the break-in. So, you know, again, based on what the police report was shown and based on what the information that was provided by the staff, we're looking at young adults, we're looking at adolescent teens, we're looking at probably kids who were just looking for an opportunity and probably just didn't have opportunity over the weekend, and they made a decision. They made a decision to jump the gate. They made that decision to break into the schools, and they made that decision just to go about and what they wanted to do. And it really is understanding the roles now. And I'm going to flip it to the parents of the students. You know, these guys, they do their due diligence in providing an education. And I stressed this before, you know, behavior and education go hand in hand. Mm-hmm. It really does, you know. If you don't, you know, these guys at the high school level, they shouldn't be teaching behavior, correcting behavior, and modifying behavior. They should be focusing on preparing these young adults for the real world, preparing them for career opportunities, for extended education and education and career, you know, career and education. These are the type of things in which the secondary level, the high school level, needs to prepare the kids. And this is where we ask the parents, you know, talk to your kids. Ask your kids, do you know any information about what happened at George Washington High School? And maybe you can help bring closure to this case.
Okay, well, Chris, of course, you are hosting us, and we are your guests, and we thank you again for that.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, we're live at GW right now talking to Chris Castro and Sergeant Paul Tapao. If you can maybe take us like on a little bit of a walking tour of the campus here, you know. Sure. And I wanted to say, you know, because anybody that's known a GW graduate, they're very, very proud. They're very aware of the history of this place and everything. So when an event like this happens, it's embarrassing. It's very scary for students and everything like that. But also, I've heard so many GW kids, and they said, okay, well, this is a blemish on our record, and it obviously doesn't make us look good, but this isn't going to break us. For every young student, alumni or active student who has worn the purple and gold, what does this mean to be able to preserve your history and the tradition that GW stands for?
It's just a way for the students to strengthen their resiliency, to bounce back. It's not necessarily the event that happens, but how you react to it and how you pick up and move forward.
That's beautifully well said, Mr. Castro, because as a youth soccer coach, I teach that, you know, as being a mentor, you're not just a coach, but as a mentor. And of course, you as the capacity as an educator, we are mentors to these young minds. And adversity and challenges does not define who you are. It's how you do bounce back. It's how you pull yourself out of these, you know, these challenges and these struggles and everything. And that's well said. Thank you so much for that great comment.
And this, of course, does not define every single GW student. These are just we don't even know at this point if it was like a student of GW, but it has happened on the campus. This has happened on your home,
Yes.
and you will rise above it.
Definitely, definitely.
Okay. What is the message that you want to give to, your students? Because I'm sure, the faculty has addressed this and is, letting all the students know, hey, something happened and everything like that. Let's work together. Let's get this done. But for kids that may be watching this when they get home or they're watching live now, if you guys are watching live now, you guys are in class. So if you're watching on Facebook Live, you guys are sneaky. but even for, alumni, what message would you want to give to them about what can be done when things like this unfortunately happen?
Okay. Well, honestly, the thing I want to stress is that the school is part of the community, like what Officer Tapao said. And so it's up to the community to come together and to help make incidents like this stop happening. Or if they have any information about, the investigation, if the students can come forward anonymously, let us know. And then if we find the culprits, then chances are it won't happen again because they would have already been caught.
Okay, so for those of you who have never been on GW's campus, let's go ahead and swing the camera around and just give you a wonderful tour. We do want to put a positive spin on this story today because we are live at the home of the Geckos right now. It's very, very hallowed halls here. Chris, how many students do you have right now? And you've walked this campus obviously hundreds of, if not thousands of times, but it's such a big campus. There's these wonderful murals. I actually know the guy who did the original mural, so shout out to my friend Ken Rossetti, class of '92. What does it mean to have, this kind of imagery and to see these colors and, to just reinforce this message about students that there's something much larger than yourself when you walk these halls?
Well, speaking about the murals, these are all student done, and it shows the amount of pride that they have in their classes as well as, with their teachers who provide these projects for them. But, just a sense of unity with the students, and if they want to see these events stop happening, then they need to speak out and give us information so that we can help them.
And that's important, Mr. Castro, because, what you guys do is you create that culture of learning for the kids, and it really trickles down to the student body. The student body, they have to be the one. We just passed that mural that says be proactive, and that really caught me when you see something like that in writing and illustrating that in the student body, the culture of the student body, allowing the kids to be proactive. It really starts with the top, with the administrators and the teachers, because you create that culture. Now it's a part of that culture in which the student body, they need to be that proactive approach, take that proactive approach, be real stewards of the school, and provide information about anything that's happening, not just the break-in over the weekend, but tips about possible fights that may be happening, illegal drugs that are being brought into school. These tips actually make a difference within the student population, and it helps everybody as law enforcement. And I stress it as the Guam Crime Stoppers coordinator, is that it's the right, and it's everybody's right to great quality education, and GDOE has that. They provided that. They've proven that.
And again, you guarantee that if students come forward, they do so completely anonymously. If it's private, a lot of kids, I'm sure, because when kids are at that age, they're like, I want to do something, but I don't want to be known as a narc. I don't want to, I got a lot of peer pressure and everything. A lot of my peers are saying, I know what's happening, but I don't want to stand out and everything like that. How can you encourage students to take that leadership role and to be responsible, to say something if they know something?
Well, I think the biggest problem that I have is that the students don't know the actual definition of a snitch. They always equate it with something that's not accurate. And when I try to explain to them, I explain it to them like this. Let's say you and your friends are robbing a bank. Your friends get caught because you reported on them. You snitched on your friends because you were part of the situation. But if you have information on a crime that other people committed, you're not snitching them out because you weren't part of it. You're doing the right thing by reporting it to the proper authorities. And so I think over the years, the understanding of the students as to what a snitch is, it's inaccurate.
Well, yeah, I think that word has changed over the years. And
It's still there. Believe it or not, I mean.
Well, you know better than everybody as law enforcement.
I just want to echo off of that, and it starts with, you hear the word snitches get stitches at the elementary level, and it graduates into the middle school. And when you go to the middle school, the eyes are like, oh, I don't even want to raise my hand because I don't want to be labeled and everything. So there's a stigma that's associated with providing information. And the beautiful thing about the School Crime Stoppers program or the Guam Crime Stoppers program is that you can report tip information or any information of a crime anonymously. You can absolutely remain confidential, and nobody's going to know what you did. You are going to know you are the only one that's going to understand that that decision that you make, that choice.
And that's a
that you
promise for you. And this guy's got the badge, everyone. So look straight into the camera. Tell the kids again, if you say something, you are completely anonymous, and they're not going to give up your your information, your identity, and everything. He's got the badge to prove it. So let him know.
Yeah, I say it all the time, and I'll do a soundbite and everything. If you have any information of a crime, please call Crime Stoppers. All tip information will remain completely confidential.
That's a promise, and that's from the man right there.
And that's really the soundbite in which I bring to the elementary level, and it graduates to the high school. So there's a culture that I create when I go into the schools. And here, and again, I'm going to highlight what happened a few years ago. And I want to stress this because it was student population that brought closure to that case. It was a break-in that happened at the administrative building. We caught it on CC camera. We provided that information. We shared it throughout the media outlets.
Well, let's go back that way because I want to check out that mural again.
And within a matter of days, we were able to get information that it was students from within the population because of the mannerism in which they carried themselves. They knew who they were, and they gave that information. And that was a critical case because we couldn't get that from within the community, other than the culture that exists here within the student population. And this is where it's important, is that they now understand the roles that they play in bringing closure to this case.
Well, Chris, I guess as we go back to that mural, we're going to wrap up on that. What is the pulse of the students right now? Because ultimately, it's about them. This is their school, their home, their future is at stake right now. When something like this happens, what is the general sentiment that you get from the students? And they may come up to you and say, oh, Mr. Castro, sir, I'm concerned, I'm scared, I'm angered, or what do they say?
Well, of course, the students are always concerned about stuff that happens on their campus. Who knows, it might be some of their friends, and they don't want to talk about it, or they don't want to stitch them out. But for the most part, I want to say that our culture is, it has improved, at least since I've been here. There's always room for improvement. But at the same time, too, more and more the students are speaking out, and they're saying, if there's stuff that are happening to them that they feel like it's an injustice, more and more they're not afraid to speak out about it. And so hopefully they continue to do that, so that the instances of bullying or theft or whatever impedes the school from running smoothly, it'll help it out, so that we alleviate all those problems, so that we can get back to the focus, which is the education of our students.
Well, 4 years on the job and everything like that, you've seen a lot, and they got the right man is on the job. Good guy.
Thank you.
Okay.
Real quick, just before we close out again, we can bring closure to this case, but we want to ask the community. I mean, you're right. There's history. There's a lot of great accolades that are hanging in the rafters. A lot of great accomplishment within the sports, within the academic realm. But the schools are a part of the community. And it's really important that the community understands that we have to do our part in being true stewards of the community. And, if you drive by the school, if you see something strange happening, go ahead and give us a call. Call the Guam Police Department straight up, 472-8911. Provide information. I saw something strange happening at George Washington High School. It's a Sunday it's a Sunday morning, early Sunday morning, and I don't think kids should be running around there. So, that's where people within the community can provide information. Now, the real aspect behind this is really empowering the culture of the kids here, the students, and giving them that avenue in which they can actually take ownership of their schools, be stewards of their school, and provide information about anything to bring closure to this case, and of course to maintain the safety and security within this campus.
All right. Well, Mr. Castro, we thank you as always for your candor, for your time. I know you've got a million different things to do, so we appreciate what time you could give us.
Thank you so much.
All right, and good luck with bringing resolve to this case, and good luck with the rest of the school year. Sergeant Paul Tapao, of course, he was mentioning the word "be proactive." That wonderful phrase. Probably more importantly, as we head out, so thank you for starting your day at the KUMA. Look at that shot right now. I heart GW. That's what it's all about. Love your school, be proud of your school, and take care of your school, everybody. For Sergeant Paul Tapao, I'm Jason Salas. This has been Crime Time. Once again, thank you for starting your day the KUM way. We'll see you real soon.